Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Scared Shitless. I'm Ryan and I am joined by Ali
Hello, guys.
and Jamie.
Hello.
And today we are going to be doing a pitch battle. So let me briefly explain the rules. We will each make a pitch for a movie. Once all pitches have been made, we will each vote for whose pitch was our favorite. We're not allowed to vote for our own. Whoever has the most votes wins, assuming one of us has the most votes. So
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this time.
today, the movie we are pitching is actually an alternate version of Scream 2. We are going to be pitching Scream 2 as if Billy and Stu were successful in Scream. So, yeah. So Ali, would you like to start?
Okay, this is what I have. I really, really hope you guys haven't came up with the same idea, because otherwise this is gonna suck.
Yeah, if we've all got the same idea, I will regret letting you go first. Let's put it that way.
I have actually came up with the idea that the second film's starting up, and we see the guys they've went to college at this point, sort of similar to what all the other cast members were doing from the previous film, and things start to happen, and Stu gets all freaked out and goes to Billy because, of course, they've both went to the same college. You know, they've made a pact with each other to stay together, to look after each other, or at least Billy's reassured Stu that he will always look after him. And things start to happen. You know, killings start to happen, very similar to how they were doing it in Scream 1. And Billy takes it upon himself to figure out who is behind all this. Stu helps him throughout, obviously, but Stu has that sort of freaked out emotion that he's wondering if they're going to get them, and we get to the conclusion of who it was, and we find out that the aftermath of Scream 3 has come forward a film. So, because Billy had killed his mother, a certain person has came for Billy. Do I need to say much more? Have you got the gist of what?
So you're having Roman Bridger come to kill Billy?
Yes, for killing his mother. Yes, the mother that he did not know really, and wanted to try and strike up a relationship with her again. So Billy took that away from him, and he felt that the best way to get back at him, and he done all the research. Let's say he has followed Billy and Stu's whereabouts from the ending of Scream 1 and going forward to where they are now in college. And he has decided to take all this upon himself to do it.
Okay, so I think once we've each made our pitch, we should each be allowed to kind of rebuke the other person's pitches.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, but we'll wait until everybody's done their pitch.
Ask some supplementary questions.
Yes. So yeah, we can do all that at the end. I think that's a great idea. Jamie, do you want to go next, or would you like me to go next?
You go next because you went last time.
Which hasn't aired yet, so this one will air before the first one. So this is our second pitch battle, but it's the first one that will go live, because this is sometimes the way filming works, behind the scenes magic here. So, okay, so my Scream 2, begins right after the events of Scream. So it's in the hospital, and people are talking, and the news reports find that there aren't many survivors. In fact, there's only 3. Billy Loomis, Dewey Riley, and Gail Weathers.
Oh.
Stu bled out from his wounds because Billy killed Stu. Billy was straight up planning on killing Stu the whole time. Stu didn't know it, so Stu didn't survive. Billy wasn't planning on Dewey surviving, but he survived his knife wound, and as we know, has some nerve damage and stuff, so that continues. And Gail, Stu told Billy Gail was dead. She looked like a corpse. As far as
Did Stu check? No, he didn't.
So Stu thought Gail was dead. So those are our survivors. Sydney's dead. Randy's dead. Tatum, everybody all dead. As they tried. So Neil Prescott officially dead and successfully framed. Billy's plan worked. Neil Prescott was responsible for the Woodsboro murders. A couple of months later, Dewey quits the force because he feels guilty about the death of his sister and Sydney and all these high school students and everything. And how could he not know that it was Neil Prescott behind it? So he kind of goes into a depression. He's not doing well. Gail writes her book like she did last time and, super successful. As a result of which, they make a movie, Stab. Still happens. So, slightly different plot. Billy's the final dude instead of Sydney being the final girl. And the movie consists of Neil Prescott killing everyone, but still goes ahead. So Billy tries for months to keep his, let's say, less savory tendencies under control. But he can't because he's a psychopath and he's already killed people and he needs to do it again. So he knows he can't do it in Woodsboro because he knows if he starts up another killing spree in Woodsboro, folk are going to be like, hang on a minute. So he leaves and goes to LA because Woodsboro's in California. LA makes sense. There's a big murder population. And there he's able to not kill a lot of people, but just enough, like homeless people, prostitutes, people who won't be missed. Picks them off, dumps them in the water, just enough for him to kind of, keep his urges, not at bay, but, enough to satisfy him. Until one day he is approached by Roman, who is directing a sequel to Stab. But Roman isn't finished. Roman loves everything that happened, loves that Billy killed Maureen just as he was supposed to, because it was Roman who sent Billy to kill Maureen. So he loves that happen. He loves that then Billy went and done his own thing. He's done this other killing spree. And he's like, that's incredible. Now let's finish my movie. Let's kill the people who turned Maureen into the person she was. So the producers, the Hollywood old guard, John Milton, characters we met in Scream 3. Billy doesn't particularly want to do it because, he's done his bit. As far as he's concerned, he's got his thing and he's done. He's not done. He's still killing, but, he's done with this chapter of his life as far as he's concerned. But Roman knows it was him. And it turns out Roman can prove it because we know Roman creeped about and got footage of people before. Turns out he's done the exact same thing as Billy. And he can prove to the world that Billy was responsible. So Billy is essentially Roman's attack dog now. Comes with him to, the movie set where he's acting as an advisor. And suddenly Hollywood producers and everything start getting killed off by Ghostface. Gail and Dewey both separately come out of the woodwork to investigate these killings because, Dewey was in a depression by the first lot and he wants to get this shit sorted. And Gail never truly believed it was Neil Prescott. She always, she still believed Cotton Weary was innocent, but was never able to free him because in this version, the whole thing was, they should think Cotton done this killing and Neil done these killings. So everybody kind of converges until, shit's going down. Eventually, Mrs. Loomis, Billy's mom, shows up and Billy and Mrs. Loomis reunite. And she discovers that Billy is actually the one behind these killings. She's appalled and she leaves. But she doesn't turn him in, she doesn't do anything, she just leaves. She's disappointed, doesn't know what to do, but eventually starts to come round. And she comes round just in time for Billy and everybody to have a big showdown. Billy kills Roman, but Dewey kills Billy. Bullet to the head, boom, he's not coming back this time. Billy's done. And that's kind of how the movie's going to end, except in the final scene of the movie, Mrs. Loomis is online on a psychopath website looking for someone to come and avenge the death of her son. And that's how my one's going to end. So most of it still takes place in, it's kind of similar-ish to Scream 3, but without the fake voice changer and shit. And kind of taking the best parts of Scream 3 and, characters we know and stuff. And it teases the introduction of Mickey in Scream 3 instead of Scream 2. So, Okay. Jamie, let's hear your pitch. Sorry about that, guys. We had some technical issues there. Hopefully everything is back to normal. So, Jamie, your pitch.
Yeah, so my Scream pitch picks up in the house where Gail Weathers doesn't turn up. And obviously, Sidney Prescott is killed, and they frame Neil. Is it Neil Prescott? Is that his name?
Neil Prescott, yeah.
Neil Prescott. So they frame him, but before the cops come up, they get their story straight because they're going to be questioned. And Billy comes up with the idea that Neil Prescott is going to confess to killing Maureen Prescott for the same reasons that Billy pretty much wanted to kill, because she was a slut, not because she slept with, whatever. So a jealous lover kills his own daughter, and they basically get framed. They frame him and they get away with it, and they go to the hospital and get all mopped up and whatever. So Scream 1 ends, and we get my pitch for Scream 2. So Billy and Stu have been, exonerated as they believe that Neil Prescott did the killing, and Stu goes off to college, but Billy, being a psychopath, wants a position of power, so he decides to stay in Woodsboro and become a police officer. So before Stu leaves, he tells Billy how he feels about him, and Billy how he feels about him, because in this version Stu is gay and he went along with Billy because he was in love with Billy. You can see our video on that if you want.
You can see our video on whether Stu loves Billy, yes.
So Billy rejects him. He says he's not got any feelings towards anybody because of what happened with his mum. So, if you open yourself up, you get hurt pretty much. So Stu goes away, tail between his legs, pretty downhearted that this person he'd done all his murdering with doesn't reciprocate his advances. Now, Billy, over time, because he's a bit paranoid, starts to think that Stu may decide to come forward and maybe anonymously in sort of retaliation to what happened. So Billy goes and kills Stu, and that doesn't really cause any flags. He doesn't kill him as Ghostface. He just goes and kills him, and then he comes back to Woodsboro. But he realized when he killed Stu that while his plan originally was to kill a few people and get rid of Sidney Prescott, his plan now is, I like killing, so I'm going to go on a killing spree. And he uses his position in the police department to lend credibility to him being a stand-up guy. So the general public doesn't question him as a suspect. He's a police officer. The police protect their own. But Dewey suspects. He thinks he's got some weird behaviors. And yeah, Dewey doesn't feel right about him. In this version, Dewey doesn't have any nerve damage. And Dewey has been promoted. He's now a sergeant. He's not the top dog. He's still too young. So Billy decides, while I'm going around on my killing, because I like killing now. Well, he always liked killing, but he realized that, that's what he wanted to do. And he's got his cover now as a stand-up police officer. He's going to go around and find out as many people whose lives were ruined by Maureen Prescott sleeping with someone's other half. And then he's got to go around killing more people that Maureen Prescott potentially had an affair with. So, a couple of bodies turn up, all of them had affairs with Maureen Prescott. We're going to have some cool kills there. And Gail Weathers in this version still wrote her book. But when she heard that Ghostface was back, she comes back to Woodsboro, and her and Dewey team up to try and find, at the moment, they think it's a copycat killer that's killing random men around Woodsboro. And I've not really come up with an ending for it yet.
It's all right, near did I. Don't worry about it.
But I'm thinking there's going to be, the romance is going to kindle between Gail and Dewey, not immediately, because, she's still quite bitchy at the start, but them working together on the case brings them closer together. And, I'll leave it to you in the comments of whether or not Billy gets away with it for this movie, but I think there'll be some kind of showdown at the end where Gail ends up getting the kill. I think that would probably be a good ending.
Okay, Ali.
Yo.
You pitched first. So you've been the quiet for the longest. Congratulations.
For one.
Why don't you start by if you have any questions for either of us about our pitch? Why don't you fire away? Use this to question, to poke holes, or
basically back up your pitches. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So, okay, Ryan. So, are we, from your pitch, are we losing all of the Sydney connection altogether, or are we keeping it? Because or is these films going forward just solely going to be Billy's?
Well, no. Obviously, Sydney dies at the first one. So, but Dewey and Gail survived, and from mine, we will have it kind of told from three perspectives. We will have Billy's perspective. So we'll actually follow him killing these girls, trying to live a life and deciding that he can't do it, because I think it's quite interesting that he spent some time with the killer. But then we will also have it from Dewey's perspective, who is this disgraced ex-police officer who blames himself for what happened, and we'll have Gail's perspective, who is now, super successful from her book. She got the break she was wanting, and all these people died as well, not as a result.
Does,
all these people.
Does Billy have a new? Does Billy have a new
Billy
love interest?
Well, no, Billy doesn't have a new love interest. Billy just kills frequently. It's better to not have a love interest, because then you've got someone snooping around. But
So he's a loner.
He's a loner, but then Roman comes to him and takes him off to the movie set and has him start up. So I'm what you see, when Billy's killing these girls and homeless people and whoever else, when he's just trying to, in the years between, because it starts in the hospital, but years pass before he starts up another full-on ghost face killing spree. But all the people he kills in between that, because he's still killing them, he's not doing it as Ghostface, because it's not it's not a killing spree. It's just him killing to keep himself going. A homeless person there, a prostitute there, someone who's lost. People who he happens to get the opportunity to do, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to take that. And it's not until Roman brings him back and essentially forces Billy to be his attack dog to take out, John Milton, who we saw in Scream 3. He was the one who essentially had Maureen Prescott at the sex parties and everyone else. And he's like, all these girls had it coming. So, we're going to literally kill the Hollywood old guard, which I think is also really nice, because let's be honest, everyone wants to see them die. And, when John Milton died in Scream 3, that was probably the best death in the movie, not because it was the most graphic, but because that fucker had it coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you got any questions for Jamie?
I'm trying to think. No disrespect, Jamie. I'm trying to think of one for you, pal.
The comment section can oblige if you've not got any.
No, sorry. I'm unfortunately
right. Ali, then that's fine. Ali, I have a question for you. Why would Roman be upset that Billy killed Maureen when it was Roman who wanted Billy to kill Maureen? It was Roman who showed Billy the footage of Maureen having the affair. It was Roman who sent Billy to kill her. It was Roman who told Billy, find yourself a partner who's easily manipulated, and Billy found Stu. Roman was behind all of that. So why would Roman be upset?
I was wanting Roman to give Billy a false sense that he wasn't okay with it. I wanted I wanted a little bit more of an emotional side from Roman, because at the end of the day, yes, his mother rejected him, but he wanted to maybe try again. Sorry.
I've got to say that only makes sense if we didn't know that Roman was behind it all in the first place. So that one doesn't make sense to me. But
that's no problem.
Jamie, you got any questions for Ali?
I don't think so.
And Jamie, I had a similar question to you, but it's left me. It was also to do with Roman, though. Remind me, how was Roman involved in your pitch? Was Roman involved in your pitch?
He wasn't. I'm just fucking off screen free completely. Screen free can suck a dick. Roman's gone. The motivations from Billy Loomis are his own.
So, but you had Billy working as a cop, and then going on a killing spree, killing other people Maureen slept with. Okay, fair enough. Right, Ali, who would you give your vote to?
I'm gonna give it to you because you've mapped this out clearly a lot better than I have. So
Okay, thank you.
if this was a DC thing, I think we would have some competition. So because it's not my number one forte, I'll give it to you. Okay.
I appreciate that. Jamie, I think I'm going to give the vote to you. Ali, purely because the changing Roman's
No, that's
motivations
fair.
don't make sense
That's
to me.
completely fair, man. That's fair.
And because I quite like the idea of Billy being a cop and using that to track down his victims. I think that's pretty cool.
Respect my authority.
So, who does your vote go for, Jamie?
I think it's going to have to be you because, I mean, you just know Scream. I eliminated Roman because I've only ever watched the franchise once. I eliminated him because I still don't know the proper storyline to include him. So
okay,
the fact that you've went so far into I think it adds a lot to your pitch because you know so much about Scream.
Yeah, it did make coming up with an idea quite easy for me because I know the franchise so well. I've got to say, so I've definitely got an advantage over both of you guys because I know, like Ali, you as well. You've only seen the franchise right through once as well, haven't you? Because this
twice. No,
twice now.
twice.
Well, was this watching not the first time you saw Scream 4?
Yeah. But beforehand, sorry. So I got to one to 3, and then I missed Scream 4. So it wasn't until you told me to knuckle down and get watching it. Get watching it that I went through it all again. So what coming soon? We're gonna have to go through it all for a third time. So happy days.
Okay, well, I win. Yay! So,
victory music.
Honestly, guys, it is not a fix.
So, thanks for watching us, guys. Let us know in the comments who you think won. And also let us know in the comments if you have any ideas for that very pitch yourself. Let us know what you would do. Scream 2. If Billy and Stu had got away with it in Scream, I would genuinely be interested in reading some other people's ideas. Maybe someone watching has a considerably better idea than any of us had.
I'm sure there is.
I'm
sure there's more than a best person than you.
But yeah, so thanks a lot for joining us. If you want more content from Jamie, you can head over to one of his channels. Links will be in the description. He does Harry Potter content and he reacts to stuff. If you want content from Ali, link to his channel will also be in the description. He does videos on wrestling, science fiction, and comic book stuff also. If you want more horror content, stay right here. We are starting to amass a pretty decent collection of it. So there should be something for everyone. Hopefully, especially Scream fans. Especially Scream fans.
Guys, if you do not like Scream, you're in for a shock.
And as always, like any good killer, we will be back for one last scare.